Hi everybody, it's me, Camila Rose. How are y'all doing today? I am so excited because we're going to talk debt in this video. We are going to talk about money that we owe to other people. Am I excited to talk about this? No. But are we going to do it anyway? Yes. We've got a journey to go on, so I'm ready to go ahead and get started. I will see you all in just a minute. Alright, so we're going to start off first with our 2021. I had no credit card debt in 2021. I only had a car note and I had student loans. So as you all know, student loans have been on payment pause. That was continued to May of 2021. But I've been trying to build up the courage to actually put all my student loans on here. I wanted to start off specifically at least with like the two that I'm working on paying off. I'm still not there quite yet, but I am getting there. But I did have my car on there, and because I was still making payment on two loans, and I still have. I really need to honestly just go ahead and write those in there so that you can all see what progress I am making. So here's what I've had as far as tracking goes. Okay, let's go back to this was my overall debt that I was looking at, and it started off with $33,000, which is a lot when I look at it. That was a lot. And I was working my way down. The last thing I had was the car. I could honestly go and fill this in for this one, and I think I might go ahead and do that because it is done. So this was based off of, let me grab markers instead of talking to you while I'm doing this. Okay. Alright, so this debt list was including all of my credit cards that I had. I had several credit cards and they all had balances, and I paid those all off. And then I just had my car left over. And so that was the work of 2020, which was the Visa, just paying that down, getting that down to, was that one getting paid off in 2020? I don't feel like that's true. And then the Nissan, getting that down to $13,000 in 2020. I started this year off with $12,000 on the Nissan, and then I actually went ahead and in October paid that off. So and it was at that $6,000. So that's why everything just says like $6,000, because that was when I took a stop, and I was paying consistently, but I wasn't updating my tracking. One, because I told this one in my savings video, but I was buying a house, and because I was buying a house, my budget was a little just kind of all over the place for a little while, just because I was looking at making sure I had enough cash on hand and just focusing on that. But to make sure that my monthly bills did not get out of hand, I was focusing on, and I think I'm just going to use this blue. I think I'm using the darker blue for this section. I was focusing on getting that car paid off. So as I mentioned in the savings video, I did have money left over after purchasing the house. I had combined the amount of money that I had available in my savings, my house savings, and in my emergency savings. And due to that, I actually ended up having more than what I needed. And I was like, okay, well, what do I need to do now? And I could have continued to just pay the amount that was due from my car. But I realized that if I did that, I would actually be probably setting myself up for failure because I wouldn't have enough money every month to actually be able to pay all my bills and the mortgage now. So what I did was, I think it was like $3,000 maybe left over, and it was in the month of October, so that is also the month when I get a third paycheck from work. So what I did was I just went ahead and I just paid it off. So I paid off my car, and I no longer have a car payment. So this is also part of why I have a car emergencies envelope now, why I have a car maintenance envelope now, and why I have a car, I have two more left. Okay, so this one and this one. And why I have a new car envelope, because I've paid mine off. I do plan to keep this car for some time. I love my car. I have a Nissan Rogue. It was brand new in 2016. It is a great car. I really enjoy it. I have no issues with it. I plan on maintaining it and keeping it really nice. So, but I'm realistic about the fact that like I won't be able to keep this car forever, right? So I am already saving for a new car just so that I'm not caught by surprise. With that being said though, I picked up a new debt, of course, then, because now I have a house. And as I mentioned in the savings video, I did end up using the credit card, my Visa that I had all paid off, to buy some furniture for this house because I did not want to have a house that didn't have furniture. And like I mentioned in my other video, I moved to North Texas in 2014, broke graduate student, and I just had broke graduate student stuff. Didn't have nice things. And it was okay, but I didn't want to have that same mentality in the house. I wanted to go ahead and just get the furniture, have comfortable space for me to be in, for guests to be in, to have an actual house, which is something that in the 11 years that I've been here, I just hadn't invested in. So this debt tracker is full. It was done. I paid off all of my credit cards and my car, which was the final bit of debt that I had for this tracker. So I will need to make a new one because, as I mentioned, I now have credit card debt again, but I have credit card debt in another way as well. Oh, here, we can talk about this. We can look at it just a little bit. So there's that $6,000 that I had left over in May. And then, like I said, I just kept paying it off. So I went ahead, it's done, right? And I hadn't really been tracking student loans or anything like that, anything else like that in 2021. All right, so here's what happened. I paid off all of my credit cards, but I wasn't using them. I would randomly use my Visa. I have certain things that just come out of that account, but I had a Victoria's Secret card and they just closed the account because I never used it, but I also am not a fan of Victoria's Secret. Their lingerie is cheap. It's ill-fitting. It's just not a good investment. So I wasn't planning on using it anyway, but it did awaken me to the fact that I do have some credit cards with really nice balances. They manage and weigh out my debt very well, and I want to keep those cards open, which means I need to use them. So what I am doing is I am assigning my credit cards uses. I will have a small balance on them throughout the year that I will pay off as money's just been set aside to pay those off. And that is kind of like the plan. I do not want to have carrying over balances. I'd really like to get to the point where I can just pay them off every month. But because I make bulk purchases, like, so let's just get into it, okay? So let's do debt 2022. And I really need to make probably a debt payoff plan, but this is what we're looking at, okay? We have the Visa. Now the Visa is high. It is $5,000. Yes, you heard me right. $5,000. I feel like the Visa got away from me. I'm just gonna be really honest with you. But I am paying it off. It's $5,643.79. So that's the Visa payment. At the current time, I have $160 set aside to pay on that monthly. Now that is over the actual, that's more than what is the minimum amount due. So we have the Visa and we have $160 monthly. We have the MasterCard, and as you can see here, I have MasterCard equals makeup. I'm going to put my yearly or twice yearly, I think it's just 1 year, my Sephora Beauty Insider purchase, I'm going to put that on the MasterCard so that I have something happening on this card, because I really, truly, it is really hard for me to use my credit cards because I just have broken that habit. I'm more used to using my Visa now, and I'm working on that. Looking at what it is that I am putting on the Visa. What do I need to cut back on? What do I need to change my budget around for so that I can pay for these things in cash? And that's working pretty okay for me. I do need to adjust again, as I need to adjust my budget for when student loan starts, but for now I'm keeping up with this, so that $160 a month. The MasterCard will be for makeup. I had not used this MasterCard since, I think I had an August transaction, but again, it was just one of those that I just paid it off when I used it. It is very difficult for me to consistently use this card. And I know I mentioned before that I wanted to get into the habit of using these cards at least once a year to keep them open. So MasterCard will be makeup. And at this time I owe $171.63. And the minimum, I'm not sure what the minimum payment is because I just made the purchase on that one. So I'll see what I want to write in the minimum is. This will, of course, change as I pay it down, but I just want to get that in there and track it so I can see it. So I'll pull out that minimum payment for that one. I have my American Express card, and I will be using this one for car maintenance. So if you've watched my savings video, you know I have a car maintenance account. That I don't have goals for that. I just put that money over there. But I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and just put this on this American Express card so that I use it, and so that I don't end up having it get closed or something like that, or I forget about it. And then this way I don't feel pressured to put random things on it because it has a designated job. It has what it's for, and that is the only thing I use it for, and only for these like random times when I'm going to be going. I still have a beauty weekly allowance, I guess, that I give myself, and so I pay for the majority of stuff out of that. If I need to just randomly get a moisturizer or something like that, it's coming out of that budget line. It's not coming, I'm not going to be putting it on the card. This is for my yearly restock where I just kind of buy in bulk because I can get it on sale and get it at a discount, all the things that I use throughout the year. So like, that's the other reason why I'm just gonna randomly need to buy a moisturizer because I buy pretty much everything in bulk and buy multiples of it so that I don't have to, throughout the year, scramble for products. So Amex will be only for car maintenance. And I owe $166.27, and it currently has a minimum of $40 a month. And then I have student debt. Still, I'm not sure how I feel about sharing what those numbers look like, but I do have an E and a D. The D one I don't mind sharing. So that one is the one that I think I want to split up. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm iffy about putting the MasterCard and the Amex on there. If only because I pay them off and then I plan on using them again. So it's like they'll always have a small balance on them. So I don't know if I actually want to put that in like debt payoff. I want to focus on the Visa and my student loan. So my student loan, the D loan is $5,703.13. And it has 2 loans within it that I didn't write out what those were, but it's monthly. Actually, sorry y'all, I'm getting sleepy. Actually, let me go look up exactly what it is, and so that I can have that be accurate. Now, I do work in a field where I will qualify for the loan forgiveness, but I do not want this to grow. And also, it is only in the most recent year that they have actually even been honoring this system. So again, I don't want to set myself up where I'm expecting this to be forgiven and it just doesn't happen or something like that. So I'm just keeping it in mind, keeping it, in my awareness periphery so that I make sure that it's just not growing or anything of that nature. So let me look at what the breakdown is, because there's 2 loans underneath this one. 2 groups is what they call it. So we have group. Okay, so we have group. Is it C or D? I thought it was called. Yeah, it is D. Okay, group C. And then under there we have loan 1 and loan 3. So loan 1. And that one has a, okay, so the original was $2,625. I'm going to do interest rate of 6.8%. That was the original amount. The principal balance is $2,442.78. And then the okay, so yeah, so that's what's left to be paid. Okay. And then I have loan 2, and interest rate is, or loan 3, also 6.8. The original was $3,500, and the principal is $3,257.17. So, oh, and let me see what my Visa, Because another reason why I'm like, I have to get this visa paid off, because the interest rate on this is ridiculous. Now, I do have the Visa Southwest travel, and I know everyone's like, get the Sapphire or whatever the other one is. They offer me that one all the time. Interest rate. And I am debating on whether I will actually do that, make that change. It has a higher yearly annual fee, and I am a little like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I am on the fence. I'm on the fence on that. So I'm gonna sit with it a little bit and wait and see how I feel, go from there. Let me get this thing to open so I can get that interest rate for you all. Oh, and I can also see what the month, I'm trying to get this thing. Okay, there we go. All right, now. All right, so at that time, let's see. Why does the interest rate? This is how they get you though, because the interest rate is gonna get you, all right? I'm trying to just see what the interest rate is. All right, the interest rate is basically 16%. Yeah, hi y'all. The monthly minimum, the minimum it's current was 136. Yeah, so that is the one that really needs to get the most attention and definitely needs to get paid off. Unfortunately, I am not paying as much as I would love to pay on this one because I have to pay everything else, and I'm putting way more towards savings. And I'm okay with that because if I have savings, which means I have cash, and I won't have to put things on the credit card. So I can actually work on bringing the credit card balance down. I do need to, so let's make our notes like we did with our last one. So to do, we need to create savings trackers for the Visa and then student. Oh, and I have a house now. I am locked out of my account though. I think from trying to log in with too many failed attempts. So I am not sure how much is left on the house, but I want to add that in there once I can go in there and look it up and start working on that, because I also have like a small additional payment to put on there. So we're going to do Visa student loans. We're going to do D group, C loan 1, loan 3, and then we're going to do house. Now house, I'm going to put on a separate sheet, because as I'll be paying more towards this, it is not the one I'm focusing on aggressively. These are my 3 that I'm focusing on aggressively. I have no intention of paying off the Visa this year. My goal is to get, so I should write that on there. Goal is to be $4,999. I want to get under $5,000 for the Visa, and then for student loans, oh, I should have goals for those, huh? Okay, goal. I don't know, because I feel like I'm not paying these aggressively at all. So I don't even know. I need to figure that out, because honestly, I will be making some headway. I will be making some headway here. So let's do 2,200. I feel like that's too little. And let's try to get that one to 3,000. Let's try to get that one to 2,999. Under that one. And honestly, let's go for the goal here. Let's get this one to 2,100. All right, so that's something. So our trackers need to have payoff, because here's the thing that ends up happening. So this right now is at 643, but I'll pay 160, and it's basically like at the interest rate, I only end up paying like 99. So I guess I should go lower than 4,000, huh? Technically, I should be able to get it down to at least like, let's do 4. We're gonna do lower. We're gonna do 4,700. That's gonna be our goal. Woo! Okay, 4,700. And I can reassess this if it's too low. We're gonna do 3, 2, 1, 0, 0, and we're gonna do 2,999, 0, 0, and then we'll just find a payoff image to fill in. So that is the goal. I would like to pay though. Let's do an additional payment goal, and let's get that at least, let's do, if we did 50 a month, then that would give me, I feel like 50 a month is kind of pushing it because mine is gonna be kind of low for a while. So let's do an additional payment goal of $240. That should be, yeah, that should be 20 a month. So find a payoff image, and then, so I guess I could add the house tracker to hit that 420. Okay. House additional payment. Okay, so this is what we'll do then. We'll have 4 on the savings, so, or debt. Oh my goodness, I wrote it as debt trackers. We'll have 4 debt trackers. We'll have the car, student loan, 1 student loan, 3, and we'll have house additional payment. And that's gonna be my goals for 20. Oh, and I also need to find new debt-free color in tracker, so that I can, so I have a separate one for the house, and then I'll have, I mean, I could probably use like this one, which was for buying the house, and just transfer it to paying off the house, but I don't know, we'll see. But I can have a new debt one, and that will have the Visa. So I want one that's just for credit cards. For credit cards. And then I want one for house. And I want one for student loans. Because I think it'll be deceiving to try to put them together. I think it'll be easier for me to actually see the progress I'm making if they're separate. This is fun. I'm excited. I'm excited for next year. I was a little apprehensive about it, but looking at it broken down now, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this is cool. I can do this. I hope that you all are able to make really great plans for addressing your debt if you have any. I know it is scary to look at debt. It's scary to look at what you owe. It's scary to think of how do I, especially if it feels really large, how do I get out of this? How do I get past this? But really, truly, like, take some time and take some courage to just write it down, look at it and see it, and start making a plan. Like I mentioned when I was collecting, going over how much money I had just saved over the year, just putting money aside with my budget closeout funds, with extra money I got over the year. I had no goal of anything for an additional student loan payment, and I ended up not only being able to consistently pay extra on my student loan for this group, for these loans, but for my other loans that I have under E, which is a large amount, y'all, which is why I'm breaking it down and slowly addressing them. To have that $500 extra to pay on interest that would have capitalized and then increase the overall total amount, like, it blows me away, honestly. It really makes me just be like, oh my goodness, like, this works if you do it. So although it is scary and although it might be frightening, take a deep breath, write everything out, and just take it slowly, one step at a time. Because you'll never be able to manage it or to get ahead if you just ignore it or you never address it. So write it down. This is the year. 2022 can be the year that we all take a chance to manage our funds, to work with our money, to have our money work for and with us. Like, we can do it. This is the year. I believe in myself and I believe in you. Walking testimony that you can do it and it works. I am thrilled to make some progress to get this visa payment down. Because I mean, even with that, even if it takes those years, I'll keep chugging away at it. I'll keep plugging away at it. I'll keep saving. I'll keep paying. My life will change and grow and expand. That is my word for 2022, is expansion. And I will meet these goals. I'll get it done. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic time creating your debt payoff plan. I will see you all later. Have a great one. Bye.